Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Frank Quinn, Director of Preservation with Heritage Ohio, and welcome to our monthly webinar. Today, we've got a great topic for downtown business owners. We're focused on using the Google platform to assist with your efforts to increase business and increase sales. And I'm so pleased that we have with us today Janet Hearn, who has been working with Heritage Ohio and with our Main Street programs now for what, a couple years now, maybe?
Well, about a year, yeah.
Okay, all right. So, really excited to listen in. I'll go ahead and turn the floor over to Janet, let her tell you all a little bit about herself and do the presentation. Thanks.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Heritage Ohio. I've really enjoyed working with Heritage Ohio and the main streets all over Ohio. My name, as he said, is Janet Hearn. I was in higher education at Miami University for 34 years. I grew up in small town Ohio, Marion, Ohio, and I now run a consulting firm for small businesses, Future Ready Consulting. So I'm really excited to be here. I've just spent the last year or so working with Main Street America and Google to provide free training to local small businesses around Ohio to help you grow your business and earn more, frankly, and get more people to notice who you are and where you are. So I'm excited to share this with you today. Our main focus today is going to be getting your local business seen on Google Search and Maps. It's also known as Google Business Profile. If you've already got your Google Business Profile, then kind of sit back and relax for the first part of this presentation. We're going to get everyone else set up. And then in the second part of the presentation, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to really maximize your Google Business Profile. If you don't mind, if you have a phone handy, you could take a quick snap of this QR code that is currently on your screen and check in with Main Street America so they know that you have participated in this webinar today. So I will just give you 1 second to do that. All right, well, let's get started. Today, we are going to talk about what is a Google Business Profile. We're going to talk about how to create it. Like I said, if you already have yours, you can skip this part. If you don't, it'd be great if you could pull out a phone or if you have a second monitor that you could work alongside me. But if not, that's okay. We can send you the slides later and you can do the work as you have time to do it. We're going to talk about how to manage your business info and keep it current, and then other resources that Google provides for you. We can take questions at the end, and if we have a little extra time, I'm happy to field any kind of Google questions you might have, and I'll do my best to answer those. Next is a video, but we're going to go ahead and skip that and just move on to the next slide. All right, let's talk about what is a Google Business Profile. I bet all of you in the audience today, at least today or in the last week, got on Google and said, XY business near me or XY product near me, uh, Indian restaurant near me, something like that, especially when you're traveling. You really like to do that. And this is where the Google Business Profile comes in, because when people do that and they're near your community, you want them to find you. So how does this show up? This shows up either on Maps or on Search as a ton of information about your business that you don't have to pay for. This is free real estate on Search page or your Maps page that you are getting without paying for any advertisement. People pay top dollar to get at the top of the search list when people search for their type of business. But with Google Business Profile, you show up in that upper right-hand corner or here on Maps or on your mobile device free of charge. And that's some great real estate. So you want to take advantage of that. So all of the things that show up when people search for your business or a business like yours is your name of your business, photos of your business, some quick links, including the ability to call your business, drive to your business, share it with someone else, or go see your website if you have one. If you don't have one, this is a great way to get your name out there, again, free of charge without having to have any type of knowledge about websites. The location of your business, if you have a physical location. If you have a service business, you can do a service area. That's what I do. The hours that you're open, your phone number, and all of that is free real estate. Over 18 million businesses use Google's free tool to receive phone calls, bookings, reviews, requests for directions, and connect with their customers. So here you see the type of real estate that you get for free on the right-hand side of the Google search page if your Google Business Profile is validated and up to date. So today we're going to walk through how you can do that if you haven't already. This is how your information will show up on Maps. People intentionally want to support small businesses in the United States. So if they can find you, they will most likely support you. So it's important to run through this process to get your Google Business Profile set up. And your profile works on all devices. So here you see a mobile version, here you see a desktop version, and then like an iPad or some kind of tablet version. Works on any of that without any coding or anything that you have to do. So how do we create a business profile? And here's where, if you have your phone available or you have a tablet or another monitor that you'd like to walk through it, you can. And we can move forward. If you get stuck, maybe you can pop a chat question in the chat box and I can address it, or you can save your question till the end and we'll go through it. So the first thing you need to do is go to google.com/business. And that's where you can start managing your business profile or creating it. Now, it's essential that you're signed into Chrome with the Google email you use for your business. It should have an @gmail.com ending, but if you have a business that has their own domain, it may be something else. For example, mine is @futurereadyconsulting.org, and that is a Gmail account, but it's not readily obvious. So if you have a Gmail account that you can sign in with, or the Gmail account that's associated with your business, that's the one you need to be signed into to do this work. And you have to remember which account you use, because that's the one you're going to use every time you want to work on your Google Business Profile. The other ways that you can access your Google Business Profile is on maps.google.com. And you can search for your address and then add your business. Or you can click what they call the hamburger button and add your business. Or you can right click on the map and add your business. So you can start on Maps or you can start on a Google search for your business. You know you're logged into the right account if you set this up before, because you're going to see a panel where you can make changes to your Google Business Profile. And I'll show you that in 1 second. If you do not have a Google account, then you need to sign up for one. and use that to manage your Google business profile. The reason this is nice is because you'll also use it to attach analytics to your website someday. If you ever want to run Google Ads, you'll need it for that. So any of these Google tools, if you want to use it for Docs, Sheets, any of those tools, you're going to want a Google address. So if you have no Google email address, you can sign up at accounts.google.com/sign up and sign up for free. And you want to pick a name that will be good to associate with your business if you don't have one already. All right, so this is how we start setting up our business profile. So hopefully you are logged in with your Google address. And again, if you're not, just kind of follow along. You can always replay the recording of this after you get some of this set up and you can walk through it. You want to find or add your business. So you're going to put your business name in as you want it to appear. So if you have an LLC, but you don't want the LLC to show up, then don't put that in the business name. Just put the name of the business. So in this case, they put Detroit Voltage. Then you're going to enter a business category. And then you're going to hit next. If you want to add a location where people can come, so you have a physical store or an office or a studio or something like that, then say yes, and we're going to add a specific address location. If you have a service business where you don't necessarily want them there, for example, I work out of my home, I don't want people showing up on my doorstep. So in that case, you would put a service area. So then you would click no, and then we hit next. All right, so then you're going to enter the address of your business. You want to include suite numbers, floors, etc., because people will use this to find you and drive to your location. PO boxes will not work. So you want to put a physical address. If you would prefer, you can add a service area. So when you get that opportunity, you can choose the areas that you service, and that will show up on your business profile. It will also help people, say, if they're in New York and they search for your business, they're not going to have it pop up right away because they're in New York and they can't get there really anyway. So it'll be coming up to the top when people are near your business service area. You then want to enter your contact information. So you have the option to include a phone number and a website. You do not have to do this, but it's helpful because then people can call you and check out your website. If you don't have a website, that's okay. Don't stop, keep going. Just say you don't have a website and click next. The phone number you put in, it would be best if it can receive texts. So either a cell phone or a number such as a number with Twilio that you then forward to your cell phone so that people can text you and chat you if they need to. If you're not ready to do that and you want to use a landline from your business, then just put that number in, and that'll be something to think about in the future. You want to hit next. This is the point that Google wants to verify that you actually are the owner or the manager of this business and that it's okay for you to create this business profile. They used to only have one way to verify, and that was with a postcard. It took a couple weeks. It often got lost in the mail because somebody at your house or somebody at your business would throw it aside. If you hear the train that's coming through, I apologize. I live in a small town and the train comes right by my studio. So you're going to want to decide how you want to verify. You can do it via phone, text, email, or video, in which case they ask you to do a video, I think, of your location. If you don't have time to do this right now, that's okay. You can move on, but it is critical that you verify so that Google knows they can trust you, that you own the business, and so other people cannot make changes to your Google business profile. That would not be good. If you operate a service-only business, you still may need to enter the true business mailing address and just say that you do not want that to appear on Google. So I do have my true business address, which is my home, but that doesn't show up on Google, just my service area. Now it says it takes up to 14 working days for Google to verify it, but often that is done within minutes now that they have the new ways to verify. But we can keep going even if you have not verified. Just remember to go back and verify at some point. It's critical. After you verify, you should see this screen that allows you to manage the pieces and parts. It's like a dashboard of your business profile. So if you're not seeing this, even though you think you've set this up before, then you are probably logged in as the wrong person on your Chrome tab, or you use the wrong Gmail to get into this today. And you want to think about which Gmail you used to set up your business profile. All right. I know that was fast, and I know that it would have been tough to move along with it, but again, you can look at this recording later and you can walk through the steps if you've not set up your business profile. But once you have it set up, now it's time to manage it. And this is the key to really driving some traffic to your website or to your brick and mortar location. All right, so here is your dashboard, and this is where you can make edits directly to your page. You have to sign into the account that manages your business profile. Now, I will tell you, if you look up at the little three dots right up here in the top right-hand corner of the dashboard, then you can add managers to your business profile. So if you're like, I don't have time to mess with this profile all the time, but I've got some people who work for me, or I've got a kid that would love to manage my business profile, then you can add an email of that person and they can manage your profile. If you're afraid you're going to forget which email you're using, you can add your other email as well, so that regardless of which one you've signed in for, you'll be able to manage your profile. So here we see all the different icons and areas that we can do our editing. And what's nice is you can glance at this at any time and see profile strength. And that'll tell you whether it's red. If it's red, then your profile strength is pretty weak. If it's kind of orange like it is in this picture, then it's doing pretty well, but you have some more information to complete, and you would click on that complete info button. And if it's green, then Google is happy and thinks you are really doing a good job with your Google business profile, and it's more likely to serve it up on a search if that is green. So that's our goal in this section, is to get that thing green. So the first thing, let me go back one slide really quickly here. So we're going to click right here on Edit Profile on this little part of the dashboard. And this is what's going to come up. And you are going to see the business name. Check that. Maybe you had a typo when you typed it in. Maybe you put the LLC and you don't want the LLC. Go ahead and change it. Your business category and your description. You can add an opening date if you want, or you don't have to. Location, hours, etc. So you're going to scroll down and you're going to double check that all these things were complete. You can either go across the top and hit contact, location, hours, and more, or you can just scroll down and get to the same information. Now here's something that's kind of critical, and that is the description of your business. Google will use the words that you put in this description to search for your business or to recommend your business. So you definitely want a description that it has keywords that people might search for. So think about problems people may have, and then they'll search for you this way. So for example, Detroit Voltage is an electrician. So if I put need electrician near me, the description should work. It should come up, but they put that they're residential and commercial. So if I search for a commercial electrician, I will find them. If they did not put commercial in this description, likelihood is I would not find them. So that's why you kind of have to think about what all do you do? What problems do you solve? What do you have available in your store or your other services? And make sure to include that in the description. Now here's a hint. If you look at this box and you go, oh my God, I don't know what to write in this box, which it's kind of intimidating, you can use ChatGPT or potentially Gemini, which was Google Bard. Google Bard has now been renamed to Google Gemini. Those are AI tools, and you can put in the AI tool, write a Google profile description about my business, and you can list all the things that you do. It doesn't have to be pretty. And then one of those AI tools should hopefully spit out a nice description, and then you can edit from there. But it kind of gets past that blank space paralysis that we often have when we're being asked to do something that we're not necessarily prepared to do or have a lot of time to think about. So that's a suggestion for writing the description. And if we have time at the end, I'm happy to revisit how to use those AI tools to do that. All right, you can skip this for now. If you don't want to write the description, you can come back to it, but make sure you come back to it. Another pro tip is to stand out with attributes. People often look for certain businesses owned by certain populations potentially. So you can add whether you're Asian owned, Black owned, Latina owned, LGBTQ plus owned, veteran owned, or woman owned, so that if people are looking to support a business like that, they will see that you have that attribute. Of course, you don't have to do that. There's no reason you need to, but it does help if people are, for example, looking for a veteran-owned business. If you can say that, that would be excellent. Or brick and mortar stores, if you are a brick and mortar store, they have a free tool called Pointy. Pointy is a tool that they will send you so that you can use your inventory with Google. And you can get more information at pointy.withgoogle.com. I have a local business here that is doing just that based on my recommendations. So they are a vegan health food store. So they have a lot of products that are kind of different and off the beaten path, but vegans would know to look for those products. So now if they put in a certain brand or a certain type of cracker or a certain product in Google search, her store will come up because they have entered their inventory into Pointy, and Pointy keeps track and coordinates with Google what those products are. You don't have, once you scan them in, it coordinates with your inventory system, which is really, really nice. That is going to be helpful because I think Google is moving, this is my opinion, not an official Google opinion, but I think they're moving towards an Amazon style system where if you search for a certain product, it will pop up and you can buy it right then and there. And you don't have to click into Amazon or click into a certain store. You can just buy it right there and that store will ship it to you and you will get credit for that, or it will show you how to drive to that store to get that product. All right. 90% of customers are more likely to visit a business that has photos on the search results page. So this is a good point to add photos of inside and outside your brick and mortar store, or if you have some photos of you delivering a service, maybe if you're training or coaching service, or you build websites, or your financial or an insurance company. If you have pictures of you working with a client, or your office space, or you sitting at your desk, add those photos so people can get to know you, and that builds trust. If you have a logo, upload that. And you can have a cover photo that showcases your business to customers that'll remain there all the time. This is really, really helpful because Google sees that you're wanting to push your business forward, and people see that you are active in your Google business profile. Some tips for a great photo include well-focused, well-lit images. So for example, here, the lighting's not great in some of these pictures, but it shows industrial electrician work. It shows underground work. So if people are looking for that commercial electrician, they will immediately see this picture and go, oh, they can handle doing our warehouse lighting, because there's obviously a picture there that looks like that's what they've done before. You can show products that aren't available anywhere else near you, potentially. You can show new products when they arrive, or services that you know nobody else does in your area. You can also add videos up to 30 seconds. So break out those cell phones and walk around your business and get some good images of your products, of your employees if they're willing to, doing great customer service, or the front of your store, or you working with a client, even if they're not in the picture, at least you're in the picture. And that will move your profile up in search for sure. You can also create posts just like social media. So for example, if I post to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I also post to Google at the same time. So if you're just doing a social post, go ahead and post it up to Google. It's the same kind of process. You add a description, you add photos, you can add a button and hit post. Again, that keeps your Google business profile active and customers see that you have different types of activities and things going on at your business. There's 3 types of posts that you can make. You can do an update. So if you want to update people on things happening with your business, you can do an offer. So if you want to do a Black Friday deal, if you have some extra inventory, so you're ready to do some free shipping or add a discount, or you can do an event. If your community is going to do an event, I highly recommend everybody that's participating goes on their Google business profile and advertises that event. That's something nice that the Main Streets could do, is if there's a Main Street event, if they could send a square image or landscape image to everyone who's participating, they could put that up on their Google business profile. So anytime anybody's searching for that particular business, they'll see the event and they'll be able to sign up. So you see that one has a sign up offer. The other one has a view offer. So it might be a coupon code. And the first one is just an update. So you can use these at any time. And I highly recommend that you do that. All right, so we've edited our profile. We know how to add a photo or post. Now let's look at how we can interact and connect more deeply with our customers, even though it's online. We can read reviews. We can read messages. If you turn that on, people can message you through Google Business Profile to a phone or a device. As long as you have somebody that can answer that fairly quickly, then that's a great thing to turn on, because people can ask you if you have a certain product. They can ask you if if you're a bicycle shop, hey, do you have kids' bikes? And you can respond, yes, we do. Come on in. Things like that. They can also ask questions and answers. So those are 3 areas you want to look at, and you want to see if you want to turn those on. As soon as your business profile is verified, and that's that process we talked about earlier, you can respond to customer reviews. Customer reviews are super important, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to get lots of customer reviews. But I don't know about you, but when I find a restaurant, especially in a town I've not been to before, I look at those customer reviews to see if I'd like to go there as well. Sometimes you're going to get a great review, and sometimes you might get a bad review, and the bad review may be unjustified, but you still should respond to it. Try to be professional and polite to your responses. Respond promptly. Don't use responses to advertise or upsell. Thank people that are happy with your service or your products. And anytime you get not so great a review, address these issues constructively and try to resolve them privately. So if you do get a review that you do not like, respond to that person and see if there's a way to take it offline. Now, don't respond with personal information, but you could say, click on the email on our business profile or call the phone number on our business profile, and I'd love to touch base with you on the things we could do better next time. That serves 2 purposes. One, it lets the person know that you are interested in their feedback. It may be valuable feedback. It may not be. But it also lets people who are looking through your reviews know that you indeed care about all of your customers, even the ones that have complaints. And that is one way. If you get a bad review that's just not accurate and uncalled for, by responding, you kind of nullify that bad review. People look at it and go, oh, see, they care about even making that customer happy. And then they kind of read past it. If you ignore all your bad reviews, people are going to wonder if you're even looking at the reviews or if you care to make things better. And they may take that bad review more seriously than they should. If you get a bad review that goes against Google's policies, which means it's threatening, it uses foul language, it may have pictures that are harmful, you can't take it down, but you can request that Google takes it down. I think Google uses an AI for the first pass, so they may turn you down and say, no, we're not going to take that down, even though you know that it violates their rules. In that case, you should write them back and you should appeal and ask them again. And generally, a human looks at it this time. And oftentimes, if it indeed violates their rules, they will take it down. We had a case of that I helped a local business deal with that. People posted a picture of an item they don't even sell in their store and made some threatening remarks. They wrote and asked it to be taken down. It was not taken down, but they appealed it and it was taken down. So you just have to hang in there and appeal that and use the rule that Google posts that it's violating. Use that word, those words to appeal so that Google knows exactly what rule you're saying that they violate. Otherwise, unfortunately, you're not able to impact those reviews. All right, how can you ask for reviews? Well, when you click on send review link, you can send it via email, via WhatsApp, or via Facebook, or you can hit the copy icon right here and you can copy the link and send it out that way. I highly recommend anyone who's engaged with your services or products, you try to send them a review link. If it's service-based business, you might have a workflow that when you close out the invoice, it automatically sends them a review. If you're a brick and mortar business, I recommend you create a QR code that will link to your review link there. And you can do that several ways. I have on my YouTube channel, actually, at Future Ready Consulting. I do have a video how to do that on that page. You can make a QR code and put it by the cash register. You can put it by the door on the way out. People like to leave reviews. They just don't think about it. And you have to just make it easy for them to leave that review. I've also sat in restaurants where the QR code was on the napkin holder or on something on the table, so I was able to easily leave a review. You can have it on your receipts. Wherever you can find some space to make it easy for a person who is engaged with your service or your products to leave a review, you should always try to do that. So customers can send messages from Google Search and Maps as well. So don't provide or request sensitive info, don't misrepresent or make misleading claims, but try to respond within 24 hours. So here you see an example. Someone messages Detroit Voltage and says, do you do commercial work? And you can say, yes, we do. We'd be happy to discuss your project. You could send a link to your website, but that makes it easy for a customer to engage with you. And if you're not able to answer to those messages, you can have your manager of your business profile on there so that they can answer those. You just have to give some instruction of how you'd like them to answer those. All right. Now, performance reports. So you're able to hit performance on your dashboard and you get some really great data with this. You can see how people interact with your profile and you can see reports for how many people have tried to call, message, book through Google Business Profile. You actually can hook your calendar to this and have them book appointments. Directions and clicks. So you see here, Detroit Voltage and overview, and you see how many people have interacted with the profile. And then you can click on through. If you have a menu or food orders, you can see the data on that. Calls, messages, bookings, directions, and website clicks. It's always good to check your performance as maybe every other week, every month. And what I highly recommend is you put a calendar reminder for 15 to 30 minutes on your calendar, at least every 2 weeks, if not every month, to go in, check your profile, look at the data, upload some pictures, maybe create an event, just add a little more to it so that Google sees that you are interacting with your profile on a periodic basis. They may send you emails about your holiday business hours. Make sure you update those. And just try to have either yourself or your manager look in there a couple times a month, set aside time, and keep that up to date. All right, so if you click the 3 buttons in the upper corner, you can change the settings, the notification preferences. You can add another business profile if you have a couple businesses. Get help and support and feedback. And this is where you can also add a manager under the business profile settings. So you can add an email of other people and you can decide how much control they have. They're not going to be able to get in your Gmail or your calendar or any of that. It's only going to be for business profile. And it'll just help you keep track of things in there if you don't have as much time to do that. All right, so what do you do next? You want to make sure you claim, which is verify or complete your business profile. You want to verify it through phone, text, email, video, or postcard. And then while you're waiting, go ahead and explore it and update it. The updates will not go live until it's verified. And even then, if you make a change to your business profile, it usually takes anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour to update. So if you change the phone number or the email address that you have listed and it doesn't change right away, don't don't worry, it's just Google running through some checks and balances to make sure that it can make those updates. We already talked about this. Make a habit of reviewing and updating your business profile. Make sure you add things periodically, photos, videos, and posts, and watch your performance, because that'll kind of tell you if people are going onto your website. You may want to update your description if people seem to leave right away. You can see if you got some signups for events. You can see the kind of reviews that are being left and that you should have replied to. But in those reviews, if you get similar questions or comments, you could add that to the description to make things more clear on your business profile. Some additional resources that are nice. If you're not sure how to create social posts for your business profile or even for Facebook and those kind of things, you can get a marketing kit free from Google, g.co/marketing kit, and it will send you these templates that you can change out the information and you can post on your Google profile and your other social media profiles. I like to use Canva to create my social media posts and Google profile posts. Canva can be free and you can use the free version, but it's pretty inexpensive to get the pro version as well. And you can make a lot of posts really fast in Canva. So I recommend that if you haven't checked that out yet. You can keep learning on YouTube. Grow with Google has the YouTube channel for expert tips to grow your skills, career, or your business. That is youtube.com/grow with Google. I also have Google tips and tricks as well as other small business tips and tricks on my YouTube channel, Future Ready Consulting. So that's youtube.com/Future Ready Consulting. Love for you to check those out. If you're interested in a Google Career Certificate, they have a lot of them on data analytics, business intelligence, e-commerce, all of that, UX, project management, cybersecurity. Check out those at grow.google/certificates. And there's lots of free online training at google.com/grow. Teachers and students, local businesses, job seekers, and developers. So if you are in any of those areas, especially local business, there's lots more to be found on google.com/grow. And I want to thank you. I appreciate you. We are not done yet because I am ready to answer questions. If you want to get in touch with me, oh, I have an error on my slide. Let me go back. That is Janet@futurereadyconsulting.org, not the H. Ignore that H. It's Janet@futurereadyconsulting.org. Love for you to reach out if you have questions. The QR code on the right allows you to share your feedback with Google, and the QR code on the left is a form we have that you can fill out if you desire more training with google.com. We are continuing our free Google training through at least the end of March, and we hope beyond. So I'm still available to do virtual training, or if you get 20 people in your community, I'm happy to come visit you in your community in Ohio to do some training. So with that, I think we can open it up to some questions. I left about 15 minutes for that.
Great. That was a lot of information, a lot of great information. So yeah, as Janet said, feel free to ask any questions. I see that we have a question. A viewer asks, do you need to have an address for a Google page? Excuse me. We have no physical store location yet, just a PO box, but would like to be able to be found on Google. So advice, Janet?
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's great. So you do need a Google email address to use the Google products, but you can sign up with a personal account, or you can just do a brand new account that has maybe your business name in it. Um, but as long as you sign up for an account, then you can have access to all the products, and that includes YouTube, Docs, uh, Google Analytics for your website, Google Ads, and we do training with any of those Google products. They will not verify you with the PO box, so I suggest you use the service area and don't put in. Now you can put in the PO box for a physical address. I think you can try to do that. They may not verify you unless you actually put your home or a business address, but you can definitely put a service area until you get that brick and mortar establishment made.
And I guess there wouldn't be any issue with using a home address if you have a home-based business.
Correct. I use my home, but I put it in that late. I don't put it as the business address to be displayed. I put it in later for the verification email or verification address. And then I use a service area for the business. So people can't come driving to my house, but Google knows that I am a real business with a real mailbox and a location. But they publicize my service area as Cincinnati, Ohio.
Great tip. We have a question. Someone asks, I need to do a video verification, but it never works. Google will not let me move forward without it. How do I get around that?
So you weren't able to pick any of the other options, like email or any of those?
Jason, if you have some additional
Says
information
no.
that you can give us. Hmm?
He says no.
Oh, yep, I see that.
That's crazy. So is it that you can't submit the video, or you have submitted it and they turned you down? Where does it get stuck?
He says the submission, it's not letting him submit the video.
That's weird. I can try to look into that. My guess would be maybe it's too long or probably not too short, too long or too big a file. So maybe you can reduce the length or reduce the how crisp and clean it is. You can just do it in low res and send it. That might be the problem. But I can try to look into that and send that information to Heritage, and you guys could pass it on.
He said he's going to email you, Janet.
Perfect. That's great. Thank you so much.
And from our first question regarding the physical address, she has a follow-up and asks, will you still be found on Google Maps if you don't have a physical location?
Yes, you just have to choose to put a service area, and then it will give you options for that service area. So you can put, it'll probably choose your county or your village or your city that is closest to you as your service area, and then you can choose that, and then people will at least know that they're in the general vicinity of your service. That way it works really well if you're like an electrician, or if you're food delivery, or if you're anything like that, because people know, hey, they'll come to me in this service area, but if I'm outside that area, they may not come to me.
All right, great. Have a question. Is there a way to rearrange or select the photos Google shows as the featured images when your business populates from a search result?
I think it shows, I think you can put a banner image, which will be up at the top all the time. And then I believe your logo will stay up top as well. And then I think the others are chronological. So I think they show them as you post them. That's a really good question, but I believe it's chronological. You could delete old ones if you decide you don't want them up anymore, but I think it's chronological.
I don't see any other questions at this point. Give folks another moment if there are any last questions to ask.
Yeah, and it can be another question about AI or any of the Google products. I'm happy to answer.
While we're waiting to see if anyone asks any questions, Janet, I have a question for you. So you've been doing this now a little over a year, working with communities. Can you share one or two really good examples of some like inspirational work that you've done with some businesses? You know, like it was really great working with these people. You know, to see the end
Sure.
result.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the interesting stories I heard, now this was a story I heard, this wasn't necessarily a direct result of anything that I particularly did, but I think it's a great story. So I was up in, now I'm not going to even remember where I was. It was Northern Ohio, and we were in a small town, and there was a hairdresser who'd been there for years, and she had grown from, I think, a small storefront, and now she had like half a building or the whole block. Like it was big. And she said she grew that all from Google Business Profile because people would come and say hairdresser near me or haircuts near me. And she kept that profile up and it would come to the top every time for that search. And all she said, pretty much exclusively, all her new business came in through Google Business Profile and helped her grow. She actually had an employee that she assigned to manage the profile, and I think it was like a part-time piece of their job, and they kept posting and keeping things updated and answering questions, and she said she didn't spend any ad spend or anything. It was all through Google Business Profile. So that was a pretty cool story of how much this can work for you if you keep it up to date and use it. So that was a cool story. The other story I'll tell is it was the person that had the offensive review get posted. So I worked with her a lot. So this was a woman whose parents had a small business in Middletown, Ohio, and her parents suddenly died, and within a short period of time from one another. And she had nothing to, she was a teacher. She didn't have anything to do with the business. It was kind of dropped in her lap. And as you can imagine, this was an emotional time for the family anyway, but she really wanted to keep the business going and she really wanted to increase business. So we worked on her profile for a few weeks and we got that review taken down and we just kept updating things. And she went from the summer before, that business, I don't know, had one sale all summer or something, to 17 sales in I think it was just a month, like the month of July. One sale the year before, 17 sales the year after. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it was showing that the business was picking up again and people were recognizing the business, and she was driving traffic, which made her feel really hopeful and really good that she could do this and that the business was still alive and kicking. So that was a really cool story. So you'd be surprised if you have this up to date on search, how much it potentially could impact your business.
Perfect. Sounds great, Janet. We're not seeing any other questions, and I feel like I don't have to cough at the moment, so I think we'll wrap up the webinar here. Thanks once again, Janet, for doing this. Please feel free to reach out to Janet with any questions you have about Grow with Google, your profile listings, etc. She's very excited to work with you. Thanks once again, everyone, for attending today, and we hope to see you at our next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.